Hi everybody, welcome to another weekly forecast for F45 trading for the week of August 27th to the 31st. Last week of trading for the month, pretty much summer months are over, and just keep in mind going into the following week, it's obviously Labor Day weekend that weekend, all the major banking institutions, it's a North American holiday. I would, plus there is obviously non-farm news coming out the end of that week. So this next week coming up is pretty much going to be the last week of good price action until we pretty much sit on the sidelines and just kind of watch price for a little bit, because I don't believe trading is going to be, the market's going to be conducive to trading for that first week of September. You definitely want to be taking a back seat and sit on the sidelines and just enjoy the long weekend and watch the numbers come out that following week and go from there, and then start kicking up the trading schedule and the volume the second week of September. So with that being said, I think we still have some pretty good levels here to watch for this week. And I'm going to start with the US dollar, obviously, as always. Now, breaking out of this consolidation finally, we had the market popped up and topped, came in at, on this feed, 96, well, I'll just give you the exact level here. High came in at 96.85 for all intents and purposes. So I'll just mark that off here. So that's so far the interim high. Now, price had popped up and came back down and challenged this consolidation area. To be truthful, I was kind of hoping we would have seen a bounce right up at this level right in here, kind of right off these highs in here. Haven't got that yet, and so you know, price drove down. Basically, all of last week was a down week, minus this one little candle we had in here on Thursday. We had a bit of a bullish reversal in there, but it was pretty short-lived. And then Friday obviously closed up soft. So on this feed here, this is the continuous cash price for the U.S. dollar index. You'll notice that I have in here all of these lows right under here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows in here. Obviously, we have some stops built up under these levels here, so there's definitely some liquidity rests under here. And when they came down and drove down, I was looking for them to do a sweep, about a 5 to 10 pip sweep under these lows, which is why we have the 94.65 level in here. I'll just actually maybe zoom into a 4-hour. I can show it a little bit better. So there was a bit of an area in here that I was looking for price wanting to come down and reach under, and we just fell short. We took the lows under here, but it failed to get under this low, or any of these lows in here. So and truthfully, I wanted to see it come in and slam into these highs in here. Didn't get it. Now, with that being said, there are definitely some broker feeds that I've seen with a couple of people in our group that had that happen on their charts. So they had a full sweep under here. It was a perfect stop run and ran right into exactly what I was talking about. Ran right into this, the tops of these candles here, and then bounced. So like I said, we didn't get that on this feed here. And my other demo account feed, we didn't get that as well either, unfortunately. I'll just, if I can bring this up here, I'll just show you exactly what I'm talking about. US dollar, September contract. So you can see here on the 4-hour, similar thing. And again, guys, if you're not using a couple of different feeds to do double check price, you should be, because all brokers are going to give you different levels, and so you got to make sure you have the correct price levels to watch for. Not to mention, don't keep this in mind, there are lots of glitches too that can happen. I've definitely had instances where I've had broker feeds, you know, they don't give you the updated data for, you know, a week or so. For whatever reason, server maintenance, downtime, just incorrect data price action, whatever it is, and you have a delay of a couple of days up to a week in some of these cases, and so you got to be cognizant of that. You always got to be making sure you're checking price on a couple of different platforms. So as you can see, price hasn't swept down under here like I would have wanted it to, but with that being said, we got a nice little bull push up here onto Thursday. And I was kind of hoping that would have been the low and we would have pushed up. Now, price came in on Thursday, opened up, and it created a nice gap. And I said on Thursday, as price was trading away, I'd be interested to see them come back down and sweep back down, and actually during New York managed to get off a nice position on a couple of different pairs on this nice bull push up right into here, and then price obviously stalled out. Didn't take out the high here, which would have been nice. They just fell short of that, and dropped back down and closed in the gap nicely. So going into next week, because obviously that's kind of where this whole thing is leading to. If I look at this, price has been trading down in this area, expanded up, broke out, pushed through the highs, came back down, and now we're recapitalizing these areas in here. If we're going to be bullish next week, I would hope that this 9,500 level would stay intact. So you can see here, this 9502, sorry, 9,500. I'll just maybe make that even so it's not confusing. So I'm hoping to see, I don't want to see any of the bodies of any of these candles close lower than 9,500. If we see that, then more than likely what they're going to do is they are going to indeed finally come down and sweep these lows in here. So, and if that happens, I'm not 100% confident that we're going to see that pop in activity that I'd be looking for. And I'm looking for price to run up to 96.85. So I'm going to be watching that going into next week. Basically, see how price is opening up. More than likely, I think what we could see happen is price start to reverse, come up, and may even sweep these highs in here. There's a little bit of a gap right in here. I'd like to see if they want to come on and fill in. I'll just maybe highlight that. And that would be, again, about a 5-10 pip sweep above these highs here. And then we could probably see it drop. If we get the opposite happen, if we're coming down lower to take out these lows first, what I'd like to see there is a quick drop and basically a rejection and then a continuation higher. And that's if they haven't taken these highs here. If they come up, take these highs, and then start to go down, more than likely they're going to be coming deeper. And we could get back into this overall consolidation level, which I don't want to see. I hope we have finally broke out of this area, and we're going to see price start to reverse. So that's kind of what I'm forecasting for next week. And we're gonna see early on what they want to do. Now, I should probably would probably be a good time to bring up the economic calendar for the week coming ahead, so you can get an idea on what we're looking at here. Just pop that up here. So you can see going into next week. Whoops, there we go. Fairly light news-wise again. We've got a on Monday, so the pound dollar, the pound sterling, bank holiday. So I probably wouldn't be trading the cable on Monday, but we got some medium impact euro news on Monday. Tuesday we've got CB consumer confidence, and then Wednesday some Canadian dollar, more U.S. dollar news. Crude oil inventories, of course, and private capital expenditures for Australian dollar and building permits. So we could have some good movement on the Australian dollar on Wednesday, and then Thursday, again, fairly light news events. GDP numbers, numbers coming out on the Canadian dollar on Thursday. And then Friday, of course, a whole bunch of medium impact euro news. So we could see some pretty good movement next week, I think. These lighter trading days are kind of, they kind of like to move markets quite a bit in these types of environments. So we could see some nice volatility swings, but keep in mind we are going into a long weekend, and so you know, a lot of traders may be wanting to close their positions going into the Labor Day weekend. So we could get some spikes coming in here, and some major levels run out, just so you know and are aware. But could be a couple of good setups coming. So let's dive into the charts here quickly and see what Euro USD. We've got the same, obviously, pattern happening here. Price consolidating, dropping out, and then coming back in and retesting the consolidation. Now, I had a level on my chart at 116.50. I was looking for them to come and run up into. We just missed it by about 10 pips here. Actually, I don't even know if I'm on the right candle there. Yeah, about 10 pips we missed that high of the week that I was calling for. And but you can see price came in, swept these lows here. So again, this is what differs too from the U.S. dollar. We could have some SMT divergence there. where price came in and swept the low. So you see the low here on the 22nd of August. Price failed to sweep that, whereas the euro on the let me go into a, there we go, the 22nd of August, you can see here price ran those highs out. So what we could be seeing is a strength move in the US dollar and a stop run on euro, and then the intended direction being higher US dollar, lower euro USD, obviously. And this is basically just a Judas swing higher and a rejection, and then we'll be trading lower. Now, if that's what we get, I wouldn't expect them to be staying up in this area for very long. I would expect an immediate rejection and a push lower. So, but I do like what we're seeing here so far. Intended or potential target on the week would be this. I like this 114.45 level here, which is a couple hundred pips lower than what we're at right now. So could be some good opportunities in there that we're looking for. But we'll just kind of see how price looks starting opening on Monday, going into New York. And again, if we don't see price running these highs here, then I'm going to be looking for some shorts in the euro. And more specifically as well, too, early on in the week, if we break these lows in here, I would imagine we shouldn't have a problem running all the way down to here for next week. But, you know, again, keep in mind, it is the end of summer and going into Labor Day. So, you know, anybody on a long position on euro, they may be interested to see price run up and capitalize these highs in here. And keep in mind, these are stops located above here, and price could very easily want to reach for these up here. So just keep that in mind going forward. I wouldn't marry the idea of a short yet until price starts to confirm itself a little bit more. So that's the euro. Again, pound dollar. We've got a couple of levels on here. By the way, this was in case you haven't been getting some of those live webinars, it's a very good idea to review them at least and just get the highlights. So this was the trade I put out on Thursday of last week. I wanted to see price slam up into this consolidation range and drop, and it's exactly what it did. I had a very conservative entry of 128.95. The high came in here at 129.08. So we got about a 13 pip stop run, or sorry, 13 pip drawdown on the trade if you got an entry in there, and a subsequent from that long there, a subsequent 90 pip movement on the day. So great trade on Thursday. That's kind of just the most recent one, and as you can see, price remained softer going into Friday and started to give back some of those gains. Now if I pull a fib on this move from low to high, hit that 72% retracement level quite beautifully, and has so far rejected. So again, a couple of interesting differences between the cable and the euro USD. You see here cable primarily trading softer Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Euro USD showing the exact opposite. Thursday was a down day, but then look at Fed Friday's strength. So that's kind of why I'm thinking here we could have a bit of a divergence between the three crosses, US dollar, Euro USD, and pound dollar. And so if this is indicative of what's to come, we could see a nice run down here. Now going forward on pound, again, a couple of levels to watch for. Here's a big level right here. See all these equal lows right in there? That would be kind of where my eye sort of gravitates to for a potential weekly target. And that comes in, I'll just maybe get a better level on that. So the low comes in at 127.30. So 127.20 for a 10 pip stop run could be a good target on something like that. Again, if we get that run lower, that run higher in the US dollar, the corresponding trade would be lower in the pound USD. So we'll be watching for that. I guess I can get rid of these guys here. We don't need that anymore. And now on the upside, keep in mind, if we take a simple fib just off of this price swing here, price has come up to about the 50% retracement level and has stalled so far. So just keep in mind there could be a little bit more room to go, especially if we get that run lower in the dollar. We'll see this pop higher, and there's several levels up in here where I think it could be a pull on price. So just keep that in mind. Don't marry that idea of a short yet. We got to see kind of how the week is shaping up and what they want to do. We had FOMC news coming out last week, and they basically just came in and stated that they are going to kind of soften their stance on the interest rates. They do have a couple of planned projected interest rate hikes coming into the end of the month. The end of the year. I believe it's 2 of them, but for the next month or two, they're going to hold off on doing anything as far as what the FOMC was, if I'm accurate on that. So which means we could see some potential weakening of the dollar, which would mean we would see higher prices in pound dollar and Euro USD, of course. So that's, just keep that in mind. A couple of levels to watch for. Again, we're sort of right in the middle of this move right here. We'll see how things go come the middle of the week. Now, again, same type of thing with the whoops. Let's see if I can zoom in on this a bit here. If we come slamming in on like Monday, Tuesday, and we fail to get lower than this low here, so let's put a price tag on that. 28.05. What's the exact level? 28.07. Call it 28.05. I mean, for argument's sake. If price comes down and takes out that low and sweeps that low, but then rejects, kind of like this candle over here, comes down and rejects, takes that out, we'll probably end up seeing this pair trade higher. So just keep that in mind. Just sort of watch that level. That's kind of the line in the sand for me. If we start to trade softer going into Monday, creating potentially the low, price should not need to go lower than this. Certainly shouldn't need to close lower. I'd tolerate like a wick down and a rejection, kind of like this candle right here. A wick down, a rejection, and then a trade higher. But if we're going to see, if we are going to see bullish price on this pair for the week, which means we'd see lower price in the US dollar, then that's what we'll end up seeing. So 28.05 is kind of the line in the sand. We start to break lower than that, we're going to be dropping down, and there could be a nice trade down to here as just sort of an interim target on the week. And if we don't get below that, then we're going to trade higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here anyways, as a potential setup. So Euro GBP, again, just using this as a hedge for those two major crosses, the pound and the fiber, or the cable and the fiber. So just took out that high on Friday. See this old high back here? Huge rip up higher. Bullish activity on Euro GBP. And obviously you can see the resulting effect on Euro and cable there. But some nice movement down there. So my target on the upside, if it isn't an all-out rejection at these levels, my target would be right up here at 91, basically 9100. I'll just maybe make that an even level for you guys. But that would be sort of my target on the upside on this if we get that continuation. And if we do get that, again, this is one reason why we're also seeing this divergence in the euro versus the cable. So we're seeing a lot more strength on there than we are in the cable. And this is a direct result of that because we do see the strength in Euro GBP. So if we continue to see that strength, we'll probably see continued weakness in cable. So, just keep that in mind going forward. And Euro may not be as willing to go down. So we'll watch for that. A couple of decent setups there. US CAD, wasn't super happy with the way price was reacting. Got a nice trade in on Thursday again, but then, like I say, price just sort of stops right in about the middle of this this movement here and rejected, and so so far hasn't done anything too exciting yet. So we're going to be watching for this. I still like long. I still like them running out these highs here. But if we can't seem to make its way, if price can't get its way out of this, see this right in here, how it's kind of creating a bit of a trading zone right in here. If we continue to stay in this zone right here, I'm not super confident that we're going to get above these highs anytime soon. This could be a delayed move. into the fall, and we won't see these highs get run out anytime soon. We could be wanting to trade softer to pick up continued liquidity below the market. So just keep that in mind. And there are some areas down here, particularly, whoops, that's not the one that I wanted. There are some areas down here, particularly that right under this consolidation area, right in here, where there's several stops that are built up, where that could be a draw on price. So watch out for that. Also, and look at that too, there's just this movement here, a nice retracement level back to that 79% retracement level. Would also take a sweep underneath these lows under there too. So just keep that in mind. Not to mention, I mean, this is a bearish, a continuation pattern here with a rejection on Thursday and Friday's reversal. That could be what we're going to be seeing in this pair. So just be aware of that. And then finally, crude oil. Nice bullish activity on crude oil. I think we're going to continue to see this going into next week. So I'm going to be bullish crude oil. Not going to put a setup out on crude yet until I see price develop a little bit, but I'll be looking for these highs here for sure to get run out. If we continue lower on the week, I would expect price to reverse right about in this area. So again, if we do get a bit of a drawdown on the week, I'm not going long yet. I want to see what price does. If this low gets swept here, I'll be looking for them to basically stop dead in their tracks at 66.70. Is sort of what I'm looking at here, and I would expect them to bounce it from there. If we don't get a bounce from there, then unfortunately the bulls on crude oil are going to have to wait, because then more than likely we're going to probably challenge these equal lows down here. So just something I'm watching out on crude. But more than likely what we could see happen is price just start to reverse right in here. And if we do get price start to slam down into here and not show a willingness to continue, I'm going to be getting all over the longs here. And my target, again, is going to be these highs in here. And then ultimately, see this rejection, these two rejection candles right in here, I believe those levels in there are going to be the target. And that would be a nice, and so the high in there comes in at 71 to 72, big figure. Be a nice $3 movement on crude oil for next week. So that's what I would expect to capture if we see that continued bullish movement, which I think we're going to probably end up seeing. But this 66.70, again, line in the sand. If we breach that, if price closes below that, then I don't believe there's any hope of them getting back up into here next week. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at here for now. I might do another commodities focused video for tomorrow if I have time to do that. That is my hope. I can't guarantee it, so we'll just watch for that. But if I can do it, I'll let you know. I'll drop it out there for you guys to check out. And but for now, you know, focus on the Forex pairs, because I think we could see some good movement going forward here with those guys. So with that, I just want to wish you guys a great weekend, and you know, don't go crazy in your trading yet. Wait until after Labor Day. I mean, we're still summer months here right now, so you know, summer trading does still apply. We're in the last week of the month, and then I would expect a lot of money to be going on the sidelines going into the end of next week. So just keep that in mind, guys. Anyway, thanks very much. If you have any questions, just shoot me a note in the chat room. Take care.